Buying a player on a cheap deal who gives you top quality performances and then selling them on for a higher price is something a championship side will get every so often. However, Brentford's scouting setup has allowed them to pick up multiple quality players while spending a minimal amount, with the aim of boosting their finances each transfer window with good sales. And it seems Brentford can expect great profit from players who are at the club currently too. Brentford's recruitment team has looked overseas and inland to find players for bargain prices that could have a great effect on the way that they play. With the good performances, this catches the eye of the bigger clubs, and it's there that Brentford complete their goal of making good money from these players. There's quite a few examples of players that have been sold already, but also players at the club now that could be the next to get a bigger move. Starting off with one of the most recent moves and one of the most known players from this list, Neill Morepie. The French striker joined Brentford in 2017, age 20, from Saint Etienne. The scouts saw the potential in him after a loan at Stade Brest in the French 2nd Division, where he scored 11 goals in 28 games. Nothing too special which blows you away, but Brentford must have seen something in him at only 20 years of age. And they were correct too. In his second season at Brentford, he was able to score 25 goals in the Championship. His overall record at Brentford was 41 goals and 14 assists in the 95 games he played for them. This meant that many Premier League teams were looking at Neill Morepie in the 2019 summer transfer window. And eventually, it was Brighton who finalised the deal and signed him for £19.8 million. What we're looking at here then is a profit of £18 million for Brentford, and this is just from one player. Before we move on to different players, let's quickly discuss why this is a good strategy for Brentford. Firstly, plain and simple, they want to become a Premier League team. Chief Executive John Varney said that we will continue to recruit and evolve over the coming months and years as we move into our new home, and also get as ready as we can to be a Premier League club, which is our aim. Notice how at the start of that he says continue to recruit, highlighting the fact that this is a strategy to grow the club and take it to the next level. Also, he mentions how they're moving into a new stadium which is costing £71 million. So I'm sure that the sales of some of these players is helping them to still be flexible in the market while paying off the stadium. The next three players I'll be covering all have links to Aston Villa, so starting off with Ezri Konsa, who in the summer made his move to the newly promoted side. Konsa joined Brentford from Charlton in the 2018 summer window, age 20, for £2.57 million. An impressive first season at centre-back for Brentford meant that they could expect some good money from him in the space of 12 months. Aston Villa paid up and spent £11.97 million on the English prospect. But this wasn't the first time Villa have recently signed a player from Brentford. Scott Hogan, who signed for Brentford from Rochdale for just £855,000, scored 15 goals in the Championship 2016-17 season, and that was enough for Aston Villa to spend £9.45 million on him. On top of that, a player they've very recently been trying to sign is Said Benrahma. Currently, he's still playing at Brentford, however in the summer it was looking very likely that he would be signing for Aston Villa, and maybe it could still be when the transfer window opens again. Benrahma joined Brentford in 2018 for just £1.53 million from French side Nice. Last season he was fantastic, scoring 10 goals and assisting 15 in the Championship. With this being such a brilliant season for him, it was reported that Brentford were asking for £25 million for Benrahma. As said, his transfer hasn't happened yet, however maybe it is still on the cards. If it is to happen, then he'll probably need another good season to show his consistency. So far, only 2 goals and 2 assists from him in the 13 games he's played this season. However, all of those goal contributions have come in the last 4 games he's played, so possibly he's starting to kick on his season from here. Another player at Brentford who started this season off fantastically is Ollie Watkins. Brentford were able to pick him up in 2017 from League 2 club Exeter City. He joined at the age of 21 and since has been able to score 10 league goals in the 2 seasons he has played. However, this season in only 16 appearances, he's been able to score 10 goals, matching his tally for the previous 2 seasons. It definitely seems like he's on track to beat that record by some distance. So with Brentford's history, could that mean that the time is coming up soon to cash in on Ollie? Who knows though, maybe if they get promoted, he's the one who stays on to be a reliable goal scorer. Also at the club currently is Bryan Mbeumo, who was in fact a new arrival this summer. The Frenchman joined from Troyes, which definitely isn't how you meant to pronounce the name of the club, but it's the way I'm saying it, because if I said it the French way, it'd be wrong anyway, for £5.85 million, which in comparison to the other players that they signed is quite a bit more. Maybe they expect a little more from him in the future and think the 20-year-old could be sold for a considerably higher fee. In his first 14 games at Brentford, he's been able able to bag 4 goals and get 4 assists starting as a right winger. That is fairly impressive taking into account that it's his first time in the Championship. If he can keep this consistent throughout the season, then he'll be another successful signing for the club. So with all this in mind, can we expect to see Brentford in the Premier League next season? Currently they sit in 9th, which is 3 places off the playoffs. And if Brentford are to get 6th or higher, then for me they need to become a little more consistent. The Championship is very competitive, with more and more teams increasing their quality with the hope of getting into the Premier League. Brentford do have some quality players outside of the people that I've talked about, but with the goal scorers and creators like Watkins and Mbeumo, they could heavily contribute to a promotion push. It's hotting up coming into the Christmas period, so maybe Thomas Frank's side can edge closer to 6th place or higher. If they're to stay in this division, then it only gives them more time to look for players who will be able to make an impact in the Championship like they've done already. But with the promotion into the Premier League and a bigger transfer budget, then maybe Brentford will be able to sign players that the scouts have looked at before. Maybe these players wouldn't join right now because of the level Brentford are playing at, or just because they couldn't afford them. A promotion into the Premier League would change that completely. Either way, when Brentford do go up, they'll have a brilliant transfer strategy in place with scouts that know what types of players to look at and know who can make a difference in that league for the right price. I recommend that you don't miss out on future videos. Subscribe to Route 1 and like the video if you did enjoy.